Hello, everyone. Welcome to a holiday eve edition of It's Sybil. Hello, Coy Malone. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good, Sybil. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's a work day for many of us, and you do twice the work, not only on the newsletter, but your real paying job. How's everything going?
Everything's going pretty good. I feel like I'm learning more and more when it comes down to just getting reacclimated with computer technology and how it works. And, even though technology is pretty much the same across the board, it changes depending on where you're working, like what building you're working in, what company you're working in. Like there can be different processes. So I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable,
Hmm.
but I also feel like management has a lot more confidence in me than I do. So I need my confidence level to match their confidence level
Right.
so I can actually take, responsibility for more things and not feel like I'm lost.
Right. Right. How long has it been since you've been in the computer business in IT?
Ooh, it has been over 10 years.
Wow, I thought it was more like 5, but okay, 10.
Yeah, over
All right.
10. Mhm.
So things really have changed. Very well could have changed.
Yes, a lot of things have been made a lot more simple. Where when I was starting out, you had to know a lot more with like backdoor processes. Now, like let's say if there's a file that's missing, you had to know how to drill down and find it yourself. Now there's like shortcuts. I can type in the name and find it like instantly, or it has like its own icon where I can go to. That wasn't something that was really going on so much then. They were kind
Mm.
of trying to make things a little bit easier, but it wasn't.
So it's easier to access and to make connections and to bring things back that may have been filed away for a while.
Yes, but then there's a lot more to learn now because websites have become more interactive.
Hmm.
You have a lot more apps. When I started out in computer technology, apps were something that were brand new and they were
Hmm.
just figuring out how to connect
And it was
those to
short
the
for
web.
appetizers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different now. Now a lot of stuff is just web based. So and then you have AI
Oh,
that's doing a lot of different things. So that's putting a new spin on things. So it has been a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm doing great.
good for you. Good for you. How you doing, Mr. Lowdown?
Oh, y'all can see me. Hey, what's up?
Well, we
I'm,
were in the middle of a
I know I'm
conversation.
doing all these shenanigans and stuff. I'm like, she see me.
You
Corey
fighting
talking
fruit
about
flies?
fruit flies. Corey talk about her one of her many jobs.
Right, right,
Yes,
Yes.
right. Yeah, the Jamaican in the group. How
yes.
about you? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How's life going on this holiday eve for you?
I'm staying away from the window, civil, and laying
Okay,
low.
okay, okay. I hear you. I hear you.
Not laying low from the windows.
Yeah,
Well,
because
some of us live in those parts of town that.
these kids don't like fireworks now. They pick them up. They be picking up Roman candles and shooting at you.
Oh
It's
goodness.
oh, it's
Wow.
crazy. They shooting at each other with the sparklers. It's a mess.
It is a mess, and we're going to talk
Yeah,
about fireworks today too.
yeah.
So let us talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is a newsletter that is still in production, no matter what the holiday. We will bring you the newsletter to inform and empower you. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter. It is absolutely free. We'd love to have you
Free.
subscribe.
Don't be the dummies at brunch. What you need to know.
I think he's giving us a theme song there, Coy.
What you need to know.
We
That's
need
the
to use
name.
that on our audio version
That's that's
intro.
the that's the name of the newsletter.
Yes.
And go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. So let's talk about what you talk about, Coy, as our social justice contributor. For the most part, a lot of your work has to do with police departments. We'll talk about a local Atlanta area police department a little bit, but right now, tell us what's going on with the Shreveport, Louisiana Police Department.
Here we go again. They are under fire because a TikTok user named 28 grams 28 posted a video on June 27th showing officers dragging a Black woman who was partially unclothed and appeared to be unconscious. They were dragging her like across the field. And there were captions that were on the video that claimed that the officers beat her unconscious as the crowd that started gathering around them tried to confront the officers. So they attempted to, check on the woman and make sure she was okay. And while that happened, there was a white officer that started yelling at them, telling them to get back. And he was wielding an assault rifle. So as the officers turned back around to, I guess, go back to the woman, back to the patrol cars and what have you, allegedly somebody threw something at the officer. And there was a second video that has since been deleted. And allegedly it shows the white officer punching the woman while at least one of her hands were behind her back. From what I could see in the video that is still up, her hands were handcuffed from what it looks like to me. They were handcuffed as they were dragging her. And in this other video, TikTok users claim that another woman was also on the ground in front of her. And the video creator said that this young lady and her cousin kept getting into fights, and the young lady, I guess that ended up getting knocked unconscious, kept trying to leave, and her cousin wouldn't give her her keys. And they were attempting to break up the young girls that were fighting, the young women, and the police officer punched the woman and knocked her out. That was how they broke up the fight. And the reason why I'm saying that this isn't the first time that Shreveport Police Department has been under fire, because earlier this year, former officer Alexander Tyler was charged in February with negligent homicide in the murder of 43-year-old Alonzo Bagley, who basically what happened with this was police were called over a complaint for loud music. Somehow a short chase ensued, and Tyler shot Bagley, who was unarmed, and his hands were up on police body camera. And then also in 2020, the police sergeant Brent Mason posted on Facebook about Derek Chauvin's deadly use of force on George Floyd, and was saying that basically it was a common mistake that shouldn't equal, a charge for murder, and that Derek Chauvin should be presumed innocent despite being recorded by witnesses. And he resorted to using a racist stereotype about George Floyd and suggested without proof that George Floyd suffered from health problems and was probably intoxicated during the fatal arrest.
Wow. Well,
put a whole lot of stuff in that narrative.
There's a lot. And of course, the Louisiana state police have been cited for their handling of a Black man, and an investigation is still going through regarding him, and with the Associated Press leading the way in this in what they said was an accident, in which they said the Black man who was driving a car created the accident himself. As it turns out, the state police are now being investigated for their role in killing this Black man, and having him set up to make it look like it was his fault. But
right.
And we're also coming up on the anniversary of the murder of Alton Sterling by Baton Rouge police. And I don't know if you all remember this, but Alton Sterling was a man who was selling like DVDs and fragrances and stuff outside of a convenience store. And the police jacked him up, and they ended up killing him. A father just trying to, make money for his family, and killed by the police there. And it's just, murder does not take a holiday. We know that. Distraction and police abuse does not take a holiday. But it just seems like every time we turn around,
it's like an abyss.
Yeah.
It don't stop. So.
Yeah. Exactly right. And as I mentioned, Coy had a story last week, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, involving the Villa Rica, Georgia Police Department, and how they view Black people. This was the situation. Coy, correct me if I'm wrong, but where they use the outline of a black person, a black man, for target practice. And so we had the president of the Georgia NAACP on last week, and this week we're going to talk to the woman who is the local president of the county where this all took place, and she's in Villa Rica, so we'll talk to her. I say all of this, I'm not just wanting you all to stick around for the show. Obviously, I do, but it's just like Huggy said, it's an abyss, and it's just
it's exhausting.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It doesn't stop.
We really want to stop talking about this.
Yeah,
but what has
we
to
want
happen
to put
first
we want to
is...
put Coy out of business.
Right, give me something stress-free and chill. But we also need for police forces across the U.S. to realize that they do have a problem, that they are training their force to be a lot more defensive and use more fatal tactics when it comes to Black men. And that's been proven across the board. They just have to accept it and do something about it.
Right.
Yeah. And I saw something very interesting, Huggy. It's an NBA player. I'm not sure if he still plays for the NBA, but he is from Turkey. And he was complaining about a WNBA player who was complaining about the recent Supreme Court decisions and talking about this country and the trash that's being poured out of the Supreme Court and their decisions and how they affect Black people. And he said, well, if you don't like it, I'll take you to countries where you can't talk like that. Well, that's the point. We do have freedom of speech.
Right.
And we do have the right to call people out for doing wrong.
Right. So he's like, be grateful.
Yeah. And like a lot of old school, Americans will say, if you don't like it, go back to Africa, or, or this guy saying, I'll take you to countries where you can't. But if we don't say it, how will we make progress?
Right.
If we don't bring about the conversations about,
they don't want change.
They don't want change.
They don't want change.
They want to go like Mike Pence said, like 50 years ago. It's like
they don't want change.
No. This is
there's a lot of people in this country want us to be stuck.
Yeah. They want us to go back, and we're not going. We're going to say hell no, we won't go. The way they used to say during the Vietnam protests. So, a couple other things regarding the newsletter. Ministry Monday today is talking about the favor of God and favor. You know how this is. Pastor Lowdown. And the wonderful Willie Mae McIver talks about this, and it's the definition of it is friendly regard shown towards another, especially by a superior, and favor in the Bible means an exceptional act of kindness and privilege from God, and how God's favor supersedes all others. And when we confess our sins, that's when we are welcomed into the act of favor being bestowed upon us by God. So check out Willie Mae McIver does a great job every week. And for those of you who don't quite make it to services on Sunday, check out the great work that she does.
That's a whole lot of people, Sybil.
Yeah. It should be. A lot of people tuning into that on Mondays. And also, we have an affiliation with Black Health Matters. And from Coy's former alma mater, Jackson State, talking about the former coach, Deion Sanders, and the medical issues he's been having of late. And he is the poster man. I was going to say child, but we can't say that. The poster man for the link between the connection between Black men and blood clots.
Wow.
Think about this: DVT, deep vein thrombosis. Yes. Yeah. Deion Sanders has been battling circulation problems in his arteries, which carry the oxygenated blood away from the heart. He's had blood clots in his leg. It's led to blockages, restricting blood flow and depriving tissues of oxygen. And so he's had some toes that have had to be amputated. There was concern until most recently, and I'm not saying the concern isn't over with, but there was a lot of attention, focus, and news stories coming out about him and the possibility of having his foot amputated. Yeah. They said they believe they have stemmed that. But the higher rates of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, which is a formulation of blood clots in deep veins, and the potential causes and risk factors that exist in Black men. So take a look at that.
Why
especially.
is that, you know?
They say there are genetic variations that can predispose people to this, but especially among African American men. And the factors are genetics, chronic health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and metabolic syndrome, smoking, and secondhand smoke also playing a part in this.
So you're telling me not to hang out with my sister anymore?
I would never want. I would ask Danielle not to smoke.
Yeah.
But in order to save not only her life but her favorite brother's life as well.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all things that are affiliated with Black men, and health factors as well as environmental factors that could play a part in the increased incidence of blood clots among Black men. So take a look at that. Social justice. Coy is in our newsletter several times a week talking about social justice, as well as Cameron is our political contributor. Yeah, his little sister Quinn is our LGBTQ contributor, and on Thursdays we have mental health and wellness with April at Russell. So check out all of these fine young people and their work. And
wow, so it's just a Walmart of good stuff. One-stop shop.
That's how you did. Just come right here, and we'll give you a birthday shout out if you like.
Where you getting that at? What you need to know? Where you getting that at? What you need to know?
All you gotta do is sign up for free.
That's right. That's right. Please go to sybilwilkes.com and give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box.
That's free, not fee.
No, that's right. It is FREE. And when you get it, when you get it, open it. Please open the newsletter and take a look around, walk around, get to touch and feel some of the things.
Immerse yourself.
Come on. Come on. I love that. Yes.
We even have a great one coming out tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah. And Coy, I'm going to ask you at some point to talk about that because we do all have our own take on July 4th as well. So Coy, let's move to your guest. And as I mentioned last week, you talked about what was going on in the Villa Rica, Georgia Police Department. And now you have a guest who is also concerned about that. Dominique, will you join us? And Coy, will you do the honors and introduce?
Yes. So last week we talked a little bit about the Villa Rica Police Department, who issued an apology on Facebook after posting photos of their shooting class training course featuring all of their targets with Black men's photos only, not the outlines. It was their actual photos. They had details, close, everything. So today we are joined by President Dominique Conte, who is the NAACP president of the Carroll County chapter, which is right outside of Atlanta, who held a peaceful protest last week. And if I'm not mistaken, also requested a meeting with some city officials. And so we have her here today. I'm very interested in hearing how the protest went, what that accomplished, and the meeting with the city officials.
Welcome, Dominique. I know you're busy, and we appreciate your joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So can we talk about your first reaction or how you found out about the photographs of Black men used on the target practice in the Villa Rica Police Department?
Well, apparently this happened during Juneteenth weekend, Saturday, June 17th. Right. So we were busy in another part of Carroll County. We were in Carrollton, doing parades and, just being festive, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden my NAACP phone started ringing a lot and text messages. My personal phone, there were a lot of calls and personal text messages. And then I started getting tagged on all of our social media outlets, from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, to you name it. And I didn't know what was going on. So when I got a chance to take my breath, because it was a busy day, again, It was Juneteenth weekend. So I had a lot of commitments. So when I got an opportunity to review what was going on, and saw the target of the black man, it's the same black man dressed pretty much as a thug in a beanie with a weapon, used for every target for their gun safety class that the Villa Rica Police Department did, because they facilitate about 3 or 4 of those a year for the citizens, for the residents of Carroll County. I was in disbelief when I saw that. I couldn't believe what I was seeing in this climate, and it was just disbelief. That was the word I would like to use. I was in disbelief.
Right. I can't imagine. So when you do a little bit of investigating and do a deeper dive in this, is this only for the classes, or are these pictures also used in the target practice for the police officers? Do you know?
Yes, because we've had our meeting. We had our meeting last Thursday, June 29th, with city officials and the police chief. And the chief informed us that they had been using those targets, not just of the black man, just particularly on that day. That's what they chose, but they had other targets of other human beings dressed as thugs as well, and other ethnicities that they would use as target practice for uniformed officers as well as residents of Carroll County.
So they were just using the black ones to celebrate Juneteenth.
Well, the response we got, it was that they initially had used the Caucasian man, and then they ran out of those targets, and they didn't, they just grabbed the nearest box to them, and that was those were the targets that was in that box, if you will.
Did they bring the other targets to the meeting?
No, they
didn't
out.
bring it. They didn't bring it to the meeting. But the police chief, I had seen where he had shown the other targets to other media outlets. But like I informed the chief and the mayor and other city officials that were there at the meeting, that it was irrelevant to me who the target was. There should be any human target with this day and age in the society that we live in, with the potence of everyone taking political sides, with the gun laws, especially here in Georgia, being so free. And as a Marine veteran myself, I'm very aware of how targets can be identified and used self-consciously or not as a bias, because you get comfortable because you train on those individuals. So it was my stance as the president for Carroll County NAACP. You use no human target. You use a silhouette like we do in the Marine Corps and other branches, or you use a bullseye. And the fact that I told the chief of the police department for Villa Rica, we are partner with Douglas County, which is our partnering police force all the time. It only took a second for him to call the chief there, and they would have informed him that they use silhouette targets as well.
Wow. How did you walk away from the meeting? Or what were the impressions that you walked away with? Or were there any discussions and decisions that were made?
There definitely was. We came with several demands, and we did a press release the day after, on the 30th, stating that we wanted the police department to basically redo, if you will, an appropriate and a sincere apology to the community for the Target incident, implementing new strategies of our minority outreach, confirming that the department participates in DEI training, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion training, and of course, switching out the human picture targets to silhouette targets, and that we look forward to reviewing the outcome of the third-party pending investigation, which will determine accountability actions needed, i.e. if there was going to be terminations or what have you. So, and we also informed the mayor and other city officials that we wanted to be involved with assisting with the selection of the third-party firm to investigate. So we are in the process as a branch of coming up with individuals to recommend to the HR this week to send out. We're supposed to have that to them, I believe, by Thursday, our recommendations for a third party firm or individual to assist with this investigation that will take, from my understanding, 30 days. So our branch is cautiously optimistic, but we're going to hold our deliberation until we get the outcome. And then we'll be back in the public, informing the community of what was the outcome and what disciplinary actions will be taken, into whom they will be engaged in.
We are talking with Dominique Conte, and she is the president of a local branch of the NAACP. I'm sorry, I didn't get the county.
Carroll County.
Carroll County. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So just so folks who are just joining us know, and Coy, you want to jump in here?
I apologize. I had to mute my mic. There's a lot of thunder going on. I don't know if you all can hear it.
That's what Dominique was saying before we started.
Georgia, it's crazy right now outside.
It's just a typical Georgia summer. So now that we see this happening, and this is just in Villa Rica Police Department, how many other departments do you suspect are using the same targets within the same county and outside of Carroll County?
I'm not sure outside of Carroll County, but I know nationwide, these type of targets have been deemed racially insensitive and inappropriate, from Minneapolis to other states and police departments where the Department of Justice has gotten involved and criticized and critiqued these type of practices and using these type of targets, because inadvertently, psychologically, you are training your mind to get comfortable with shooting these type of individuals, because you're accustomed to it. That's what you learn. That's what you train on. So that's why it's imperative that we don't use any human target. That's why we don't use it in the military, unless the specialized forces, which we are designed and particularly conditioned on purpose, intentionally, to kill those type of individuals for war.
What's the racial makeup of Carroll County, of the police department and the city government?
As far as diversity? They're working on diversity. We do have a newly African American.
In 2023, they working on diversity.
I'm being honest. We have a new HR director who is an African American woman. Really nice woman who I look forward to getting to know better. She's just starting that position. They're currently hiring. They have several officer positions available, if you will, and they are working aggressively to diversify. We do have, I'd say a couple, 3 or 4 African Americans on the force, but like I said, they are actively hiring. I'm sorry?
How many on the force?
I would say about 3 or 4, just off the top of my head, but they have several positions available that they have been aggressively, that I know of, trying to hire individuals. But of course, that goes with pay. We're competing with our neighboring county, which is Douglas County, and they pay more. So, with everything, so you got to look at that. And Villa Rica is made up of 33% African Americans. So we're third.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. So we are a third of the city. So it's imperative that we have proper representation.
And do you have to, just for folks who might be thinking about it, do you have to live in Villa Rica or in Carroll County in order to work for that police force?
I believe so, but I think you can live like 30 to 50 miles, maybe max, outside of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's, if you're qualified,
right,
because they're aggressively active hiring, I'm sure they will make,
some accommodations.
Some accommodations. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Were you military police in the Marines?
I was, and I worked a year in JAG, and I was 35, 34, 31, which is motor transport dispatch.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So where do you go from here? Are you all having scheduled meetings to give progress reports? Right
now, we're in the middle. The executive board is in the middle of trying to come up with recommendations, like I said, for the third party investigation to give to the HR director by this Thursday, and then they will go through, the city will go through their hiring process for the third party investigative individual or firm, and then they will let us know who they deemed or chose, if you will. And then from my understanding, it's 30 days from that point, from the hiring of the firm or individual, the investigation will take place. Then we will do a follow-up. Yes, ma'am. So I'm hoping by the end of August, no later, the beginning of September, we will have an appropriate outcome and be able to update the public on where we stand and have all of the accountability that is demanded upon with the city and the residents.
Will you come back and give us that update once you have it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. House membership in the NAACP. I often worry about this because we all come to you because, when we're in need of some sort of leadership and to have you take the lead on these things. How's membership?
That's a good question. So I'm a new president. My predecessor was the president for 12 years. So I got sworn in this January 7th of 2023. And I can say since my swearing in, we have had great numbers as far as our residents of all ages wanting to get involved. Because there's a generational change in our leadership. So they are super excited. And I've run for office and other things, so I'm very familiar with the county. So I would say the county is very excited that I'm the new president, and I'm excited as well. So I would say right now we're not having an issue with membership at all. It's been an uptick for sure.
And you're seeing younger members?
I'm saying just
overall.
Just overall, yes, ma'am.
Great.
And I'm having our executive team aggressively, reach out. Right now, the Religious Affairs Committee with our third VP has made my schedule up until October, where I go out to twice a month to on Sunday to our Black churches in the county, because Carroll County is so big. We have over 7 main cities that equivalent the county.
Wow.
So, and it's just one of me. So
yeah.
So I'm reintroducing the branch as well as myself and our executive board. And that's making some headwinds as well. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but what are the 7 large cities?
Oh God, we have Carrollton.
So, but what is this, Jeopardy?
No, I did not see this as such a big.
We have Carrollton, Villa Rica, Temple, Bowden, Mount Zion, Whitesburg, and I'm missing one.
Come on, Coy.
No, that was about 6.
I don't know.
You found the wrong damn friend, Dominic.
But those are the main ones, but we have others, small ones in between. But absolutely, it's a lot to spread myself. Yes.
What are some of the other issues?
You're right. That's one.
There's nothing like Google at your fingertips.
She don't even look.
7 cities in Carroll County.
I would have never guessed that. I've never heard of Rookville, to be honest.
It's one of them. Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about some of the other issues that we should be focusing on too, Dominique, that you want to bring to the people's attention.
Right now, specifically in Georgia, we're getting ready to hit it hard with voter registration and informing our residents of the new laws that our lovely governor has bestowed upon us, because it's definitely going to make it extremely more difficult for Black and Brown residents of Georgia in particular to go out and vote. So that's what we're getting ready to attack aggressively. We just did a workshop last month with our housing committee, the chair there, Ms. Sandra Houston, and we had the National NAACP Assistant Attorney General Counsel, Attorney Tiku, come out and give a very fruitful information pertaining to housing, because we've had, with the economy and inflation, individuals that need answers about slumlords, evictions, bankruptcy, how to purchase a home, when's a good time, is there a better time to wait? Basically, there is no time to wait. The prices are what they are, and they're going to stay that way for indefinitely for a very long time. Month prior to that, we had a civil rights workshop where we had one of our pro bono civil rights leaders, Attorney Andrew Lampus, do a workshop with us during our general membership and educate our residents on their rights, the civil rights. So we have a lot that we're doing and trying to get the community up on as far as their knowledge. Basically, I take in the feedback and the requests that the community reaches out to me with concerns or they're filing an official complaint, and I incorporate that. Try to in our general membership monthly meetings to basically meet the people where they are and give them the needs and the tools that they're having issues with.
And I suspect after some recent Supreme Court decisions, you all will be having some other meetings and town halls, if you will, in order to discuss these things as well.
Absolutely. It's a lot going on, especially here in our lovely state of Georgia.
Yeah.
Now we're, from my understanding, going to be part of Super Tuesday. So that'll be the first time. So we have a lot to get our community up on. Yes, ma'am.
Well, we are here, and I absolutely love my history with the NAACP, and I know that all the way from the top to down to the those of us that are walking the walk, from President Derrick Johnson on the way down, that and the people that are watching and listening here want to be a part of the solution, and we join you and invite you back anytime you'd like to come in and talk about whatever is going on. And as you see that it applies to your particular organization, but also throughout the state of Georgia, if not throughout the country.
Absolutely. And if you are listening and live in the Carroll County area, you could go to our website if you want to be a member at www.carrollcountynaacp5179.org and go through our membership application, and you'll be able to purchase your membership, pay the fee, which is $30 annually, unless you want to be a lifetime member. And of course, there's different type of levels for lifetime. So we are asking all ages to please don't just, be on the sidelines. We want you to be active and participate and be proactive. We've been around for 114 years, and God willing, we'll be around for another 114.
Amen. Amen.
Look at you carrying that torch. Well done.
That's my job. That's my
job. Well done.
Well done, indeed.
Carroll County definitely picked the right person for the job.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you for all your hard work and putting in the sweat equity too. We appreciate your joining us. I know it's been a busy time.
Thank you. And if I see you guys at National end of this month, that'll be great. We'll be in Boston, so I will be there with President Johnson and our state president Griggs and all of that.
Absolutely.
You're not going to Boston.
He's a comedian. It's not
maybe next year in Vegas.
Okay. I go to Vegas.
Thanks so much, Dominique Conte. We appreciate you.
Thank you. You guys have a blessed one.
You
too.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Keeping you up to date what's going on in a story that Coy covered with the targets and the pictures of a black man on the target practice.
That's the equivalent to a noose or some type of effigy hanging around an effigy at the job or something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be equivalent to that.
I'd say, shoot a Negro is
it's the new effigy.
So not that the nooses are gone. We still have those stories too. Coy has reported. I hope Coy is okay. We lost her there.
She was talking about she's trying to mute the thunder. Sybil, you all right? You got one more call, sister. I'm hanging up.
I'm going to ask you now that let's move into trending topics. Let's talk about your comedy dates. What do you have coming up? And how was
we got Sugar Bear's birthday party. I don't even know the dates. Chris Paul.
Right.
I guess it's like in a couple of weeks at the Bethesda Blues, and in Bethesda with Sugar Bear. Wishing him a happy birthday. And we just did Magooby's Joke House in Baltimore. And prayers to all the people that was affected at the block party down in South Baltimore.
Got it. Awesome. Did you have a good weekend?
Oh, it's great. So I'm still kind of funny, Sybil.
You're always funny.
And somebody that was at the show. Somebody was at the show. Light it up. Tell
Yolanda has some comments for us, I believe, or a comment. Renita Bland on Facebook says that I'm in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. I ran my race. Oh, bless you. I popped in to say hi. Time to get some sleep. Oh, you know what? Have a wonderful time. Congratulations on running the race, and let us know when you get back.
That's a bucket list. I'm going back to Joe Bird.
I know, right?
Yeah, I got
Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls. We were able to go there years ago, and beautiful country. I'm careful with no issues so far. Going back to Joburg tomorrow. Thank you. Yes. And come back safe and have the time of your life. Oh, that's so cool.
Absolutely.
I love to hear stories like that. Yep, that's awesome. Thank you, Yolanda. All right, so Huggy, how can people follow you so we can get those dates?
Huggy Lowdown DC on Instagram and Twitter, if Twitter's still around. I don't know.
I know. We can only read so many tweets a day, according to the new boss of Twitter. Yeah. Okay, so I got some stories for you, and I just kind of want to go through some of these and get your reaction to them. Okay. All right. Right in in the DMV, there was a horrible mass shooting that took place at a block party Saturday night, Sunday morning, right?
Yes.
And 30 people were shot altogether. 2 young people were killed, a young woman of the age of 18, a young man he was 20, and now they have a reward for information regarding that. The reward has been increased to $28,000 as authorities try to untie the massive investigation. This happened at a block party in the Brooklyn neighborhood, and as I mentioned, 2 dead and 28 others injured, and a majority of them under the age of 18. Huggy,
that is crazy, Sybil. We were that was Saturday night.
Saturday night, Sunday morning.
And I don't know how far is that from Timonium, where we were performing, which is right outside of Baltimore. But when I heard it, because I heard it the next morning, I was like, whoa, it's like, that is so horrific.
And they said they said the kids weren't, nobody was running or anything, because they first initially thought it was fireworks.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a whole lot of shootings happen around 4th of July.
Yeah.
You got to determine whether they're gunshots or, fireworks.
Right. Exactly. One of the doctors at the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Center said some victims remain in critical condition, and 3 others are considered stable. And he said they have not been tested like this since 2015 in the aftermath of the Freddie Gray murder.
Wow.
And at a news conference held today, police had very little new information, and the acting police commissioner, Richard Worley, said they know more than 1 gun was used, but would not reveal specifically how many were used. Wow. And he'd only say there was more than 2 or 3 guns used in the shooting.
Somebody know who did it.
Yeah. And that's what the mayor said yesterday. He said, somebody out there knows, and we are going to find you.
And to have a beautiful block party that was uninterrupted.
Yeah.
And Baltimore is such a beautiful place, man.
It's a beautiful town. Yeah.
But you just hear that part.
Right. Unfortunately, that's what's on the front pages today.
Right. Yeah.
But the people there are so wonderful, and a nice young mayor there, a great young governor now in Maryland.
The mayor looked like he need to work permit.
Right.
Yeah, he looked like I called him Kaepernick little brother. He looked like if Aaron Magruder did a drawing of Kaepernick on the Boondocks, he would probably be Mayor Brandon Scott. He looked like a Boondock.
He does. He's a very nice young man, but really loves his city. Yeah, absolutely. So check this out. The IRS is warning us of a new tax refund scam. A new scam is being mailed out to taxpayers, and there's a letter which comes in a cardboard envelope designed to trick people into believing that they are owed a refund. And they say that this is not from the IRS, and want you to know it's designed to trick people into believing and to give information that they should not be giving to strangers. Obviously, they said that it does have an IRS masthead on the letter and says the notice is in relation to your unclaimed refund. Don't fall for the okie doke, folks.
So if you see IR apostrophe S,
right, Earth. Letter recipients are asked to share a driver's license image, which the IRS warns can be used by identity thieves. They're also asked to share their cell phone number.
How are they so? I mean, they're savvy with it. It's so crazy.
Give us your cell phone number. Give us your copy of your picture of your driver's license, your social security number. Wow. And your bank routing number and bank account number. That's giving them everything.
That's everything. You just might as well just go to their house.
Right. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. They say this is the latest in a long string of attempts by identity thieves posing as the IRS in hopes of tricking people into providing valuable personal information to steal identities and money. This is from the IRS commissioner. People should be careful to watch out for red flags that can clearly mark these as IRS scams. Among the warning signs indicating the letters are fake are awkwardly worded requests, such as asking for a clear phone of your driver's license. Meaning instead of a clear picture, they're asking for a clear cell phone picture, I guess, maybe. And the clear displays all 4 angles, taking in a place with good lighting. Uh,
that sounds like scam jargon. So.
Yeah. And so the
scam.
IRS is saying, try, to be very careful of this. Don't fall for the okie doke. And once you send all this information, just know what you're in for. Hello, welcome back.
Hey, okay.
Hey.
How was the treehouse?
Oh goodness, it's still standing.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you just left.
Yeah, she had to run out and
run to the
treehouse and then made it back in time to finish
Check
this up.
on it.
So I guess with the weather, fireworks are out for tonight, huh?
It might be. You know what? I was planning on doing that tomorrow.
Never out, Sybil.
And you know what? There's annually, except during COVID, I want to say maybe for a couple of years after that, there was a Peachtree Road Race is what it's called. It's a like a marathon, that almost like an Atlanta City marathon. And so they have like a lot of the street blocked off and stuff like that from downtown Atlanta all the way up through Midtown and Buckhead. So I'm wondering if that's still going to happen tomorrow, because as I was passing through that neighborhood, I see that they're already getting the barricades ready. There's plenty of porta potties on a lot of the sidewalks, and I don't know how that's going to work out tomorrow.
So the concern about this holiday, more so than any other, is about the use of fireworks. And almost 75% of all fireworks-related injuries in the U.S. last year happened during the month surrounding the 4th of July. That, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. There were 11 reported fireworks-related deaths last year in 2022. Far more, and the injuries are frightening, but the deaths obviously related to fireworks, 11 of them deaths last year alone. We'll get updates towards the end of this month. The victims ranged in age from 11 to 43, old enough to know better, and there were over 10,000 fireworks related injuries last year.
I would always have bad luck on 4th of July, so coming up. When I was younger, as my sister, she might write in, but I put the house on fire.
Oh my goodness!
Probably
about 9 or 10. We was throwing sparklers
in the house.
No, outside, Sybil. We're not that bad.
You said put the house on fire. I'm thinking you
have those sparklers inside the house, Sybil. Oh
my dad did something like that.
So we had like ivy on the side of the house, and there was sparkler, and it ignited. And my sister took off running. She was like, "You won!"
Dang.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
So check this out. This is horrific. A 58-year-old man in Illinois critically injured when a commercial-grade firework exploded in his face.
Wow.
They said that he lit a firework, did not detonate as expected. They said, and this is what they tell you don't do. They said the man looked into the tube housing the firework, and it discharged, striking him in his face and exploding.
Oh my God.
He caught it in the face, Sybil.
Yeah, he caught it in the face.
Oh my
They don't know how this is going to end up. Wow. But I've seen it when I was a little girl, people losing fingers.
Digits.
But
you saw that?
Mm-hmm. And my father was trying to shield me from it, but you're looking around and stuff. And my dad was talking to the guys, this is not a good idea. And they were like, "Oh man, you don't know." And the guy,
he lost a thumb.
He lost 3 fingers.
Oh.
He lost 3 fingers.
Yeah, my parents didn't play that.
Yeah. They say that a Maryland explosion is believed to have caused by someone either manufacturing or modifying fireworks ahead of the holiday. 2 people were rushed to the hospital after the incident. The damage to the house was so extensive that it has to be condemned.
Oh my goodness.
And they say that, they give you the advice, never let young children play with or ignite fireworks, including sparklers, Huggy.
Or the little snakes. Remember the little snakes?
Right, remember the snakes. Yeah.
What snake?
No, they're like little pellets.
Little pellets you light, and
you light them, and then the ash kind of
20 minutes, and it's just like a cigarette ash forming, and you just look.
And they call them snakes. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
They say if you keep your viewers 35, 40 feet away from your fireworks. And also keep a hose or a bucket of water handy. Light fireworks one at a time, then move back quickly. Never try to relight or pick up fireworks that have not fully ignited, like this man did with his face. And let the duds sit. This is part of my dating advice. Let the duds sit 5 to 10 minutes before you put them in a bucket of water.
Damn,
oh my God.
Yeah. You mean with it.
Yeah. Well, it's a dud's a dud.
And also tell Sybil, do not eat Krispy Kreme before you light a firecracker. Because
tell them to charge their wheelchairs before they
Oh my God. Right. Oh my God. Coy, dang.
Remember the dude that lit the fire? He had no juice.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, wow.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Wow.
Put it in reverse.
Also, Michael Stallworth, always handy with a tip, says be aware about guns going off in the air.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
bullets land somewhere.
Yeah, they have. What goes up,
they have land. Yep,
must come down. I had a lot of other stories, but we don't have time. But I do want to move to entertainment. Now, I don't know if you consider this entertainment, but it is affiliated with someone in the entertainment business. And hats off to Mr. Tyler Perry. He has come, Mr. Perry, to the rescue once again. And this is heartwarming. A 93-year-old woman by the name of Josephine Wright says the developers are harassing her with a frivolous lawsuit to get her off of their property that they want to develop. She not only has she lived on this property for a long time, but generationally, this has been in the family's business, the family real estate. So they're harassing her, intending to force off that has been in her family for generations. She said, I've pretty much been a fighter all my life. This house means it's a home, a place where I want to be at this age. She's 93. She deserves to stay in her home. Right. It was been the property has been in the Wright family since just after the Civil War. So do the math there. Do the Gazintas in the 1860s and 70s. Her husband was a Gullah Geechee Islander. His relatives escaped slaves and were freed by the Union soldiers. And now the Bailey Point Investment Group is trying to develop 27 acres around the home and force the family off their land. Mm-hmm. She may have the most powerful ally of all, and that is Tyler Perry. He posted on his Instagram page sharing her quote, I've pretty much been a fighter all my life. He said, well, that makes two of us, Mrs. Wright. Please tell me where to show up and what you need to help you fight. Wow. She is a grandmother to 40, a great grandmother to 50, a great great grandmother to 16, and says she's ready to fight for her family's history and for their future. Her granddaughter has set up a GoFundMe post to help with her legal expenses. So far, they've gotten over $140,000. They're looking for $250,000 as its goal, including $40,000 from Kyrie Irving.
Wow!
According to the
Kyrie do a whole lot of stuff.
We just don't know, right?
Kyrie do a whole lot of
right. Yeah. So they're suing Mrs. Wright and her former daughter-in-law, who is the co-owner of the house. And she told the folks there at the Savannah TV station, construction has forced her to move away. They're alleging that check this out. They're alleging that her porch sits on its property. She already had to move a shed and she had to move a satellite dish. They're trying to build a 100.
That is just so petty, man.
Isn't it? They're trying to build a 147 unit development. And they've offered to buy her home. She says that when she's refused, they retaliated with harassment. And she does have legal help in the form of the great author Bakari Sellers and also a former state rep there in South Carolina, and many who have helping according to the local news. So we wish her good luck and good on you, Tyler, for stepping in and helping this woman, as well as what he's doing with other people.
Yeah.
So I just can't. You've had this for what, almost 200 years, and actually more than that now, and you're going to kick her off because
they will find a way.
I'm telling you. And her porch is on their property.
No, it's not. They lying.
They probably are, Coy.
Probably they are lying.
And you know, just using up her money to try to, and because they got more money.
Stretch it out. Big bank take little bank.
Right. Exactly right.
Well, Tyler Perry is the bigger bank, I'm sure.
Yeah,
she got good people with her now.
Yeah, she got some good backup there. Yeah. Let us close out with our jewel for the day. Your time is your most valuable commodity. Spend it with people who are deserving of you. That's you guys today. Thank you so much for inviting us in, Coy and Huggy. Thank you for joining us today.
Sybil, I was going to be here, Sybil. I just wanted
you told us. I just just need to make sure. So I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week, and everybody, please be careful out there. We'll see you again soon.
Be safe. Happy 4th.